Hello and welcome to Head and Shoulders, where we cover athletes, performances, coaches, and everything in between that are head and shoulders above the rest. And this year, or at this turn, we're going to cover the women's 400, and we're going to see what are the chances, and we're going to cover the 4x4. So stay tuned for both of those. Before we get into today's content, always like, comment, share with other people so people outside of the sport can actually see this as well. Before we do that, we got some trivia. And I'm going to do this in the next few videos leading up to the Olympics. Can you tell me what this is? You're going to be put into a raffle. It's going to be either $100, $1,000, might be $10,000 for that champion that gets it. If you already guessed what this is in the Discord group, because we have a Discord, it gets pretty active between a few people, very small right now. But hey, definitely join the Discord. We already have the answer in the Discord. So I'm going to go by whoever answers this one first on July 23rd, 2021. I'm pretty sure it's not even going to last until after that. So whoever answers in the comment section first, look before you answer. It can only be 1 of 3 races. Well, technically, this could be prelims, semis, or finals. You got to get this one right, too. Is this the prelims, semis, or the finals of 1 of 3 races? Tell me what year this was and what race it was. If you are correct, I'm going to comment under it. You're gonna have to email me to be put into that raffle. We're gonna do this with a couple of races, probably get about 20 people in, and there you go. So now let's get into today's content, which we're gonna cover the potential field here. Now, here's the thing right here. Here's the Olympics in the schedule. There is no start list. Once I get a start list, I might revisit this to actually cover it, all right? But for now, there is no start list for the Olympics round 1 or anything of the heats. So we're going to have to wait until they actually release that, which might be what, 2 or 3 days before. So then after that, we're going to do a full breakdown. Once again, the Namibian athletes are out. Shaunae Miller-Uibo is likely doing it. She has the 400 round 1 on the same day she has a 200 final. 400 round 1 morning, 200 final in the evening. So not going to, that's going to affect the 200 more, if anything. So we got Mo is also not doing this. So we got Stephanie Ann McPherson, Canera Hayes, McLeod, Paulino, Felix, McGregor, right? And Jonathas. Now, where are we going to? And I think that's the only ones we got to worry about. Stacey Ann Williams, I don't think that she's going to be a challenge for that top spot. She's going to have to just come out of nowhere to do that. The most improved athlete in Jamaica is McLeod. She's been getting PR after PR. We already know that. I covered that on the previous video, which I'll probably link right here. But Stephanie Ann McPherson, I think I have that race loaded up. And if not, I don't want to get the copyright strike, even though usually the Jamaican streams don't copyright strike people. But I do want to point something out, which some people did point out here. She was dining the home straightaway. Now, I think she could have gone probably a 10th or no, a 100th of a second. No, 10th of a second lower. Why am I saying 100? She might have gone a 10th of a second lower off her time. Had she had somebody to challenge her or that she thought somebody was nearby. She kind of just looked left and the right, and then she realized that she was there, and she just kind of walked through the last few meters, right? But aside from that, I think she can go a little bit faster. She probably was a 49.5 something at this point. So while that might not seem like that much, that's the difference between winning and losing. We should already know this in these sprint events. That's the difference between winning and losing a lot of times in these sprints. So she's shown that she's a consistent sub 50 athlete, even though she got a 49.99. She went just over 50 seconds. This is a big PR for her. Now, when it comes to form, if we were to judge, well, excuse me, based on that alone, we're going to have to give the form battle to Allyson Felix and Shaunae Miller-Uibo, because looking at them race after race, let's go to Shaunae Miller-Uibo. She just has it over the rest of the field, right? Allyson Felix is able to use his strides and everything. Shaunae Miller-Uibo might have the second best form, but as far as times, she's the one to beat. She's the one to beat. I can't say that if she's healthy Rumor has it she's been injured. I haven't found any resources on that have confirmed that she has been injured and working through an injury. So we're just going to go by rumor has it. If she's injured, I don't, I'm going to say she's going to struggle to win. I think she still has a chance to win, but then that opens the door for everybody else because they're not going to be slacking off. But if she's not injured, she's going to blow everybody else away. She's going to get sub 48, 49. Allyson Felix was commenting to people that she wants to get a sub, she wants to run into the 48-second range. She wants to run a new PR. And if we look at her personal best here, right? Her personal best is 49.26. She's going to have a massive PR in order to compete with Shaunae Miller-Uibo if she's healthy. Like, she can't do a 48 high. That's not going to be good enough. She's going to have to do a 49 mid, 48 high. That's not good enough. 48 mid, 49 low. But when it comes to her form, she knows how to close. We saw it this year at the USA Championships. She went from out of the medal, going to the Olympics to second. That's good. Now, that means now she just got to put in some more work, some fitness, some strength training. Let's see what happens there. I don't know. Allyson Felix is either going to get a medal or she ain't getting anything. I think she'll finish 5th or she's finishing, and this is assuming a healthy Shaunae Miller-Uibo. She either finishes, I had her pegged at 3rd, but I can give her a 2nd to Shaunae Miller-Uibo. She's either going to finish 5th or she's going to finish 2nd. Those are the two places that I really see her. Potentially 3rd, but then that's on her slightly underperforming, or Stephanie Ann McPherson really just having a good race. So McPherson, her biggest weakness is going to be her home straightaway as she's dying out. And when she dies out, when we see other athletes in the actual lanes, that might be motivation in and of itself with an athlete close enough. If she can maintain her form better, if she can work on that, which is going to be very hard for her to work on in a month or so, that's going to be hard to work on. So McPherson knows how to put in work. Let's look at her honors, because remember with the Jamaican 4x14, she was one of the athletes that was actually fighting for that championship in Beijing, where they won on that team. And that's when, let's look at the progression here. I think she was only 52 seconds, Beijing, 50 point that year. So she hadn't broken 50 seconds that year at all, but she was able to get a good close, get Team Jamaica in for a shot to actually win. All right. So let's not forget that with Stephanie Ann McPherson. Yeah, she might have an ugly close. Shaunae Miller-Uibo's had an ugly close and still won. Other athletes have ugly closes, but when it comes very close, I think that's going to be motivation for Allyson Felix. As far as Canary Hayes, people were kind of like, wait a minute, you got Hayes ahead of Allyson Felix? Yeah, I got Hayes ahead of Allyson Felix, at least in the previous video, because of what she has shown. But when you want to put all of that together, I can see her not beating Allyson Felix with Felix's coach getting everything together. All right. We already know that Kersey has the goods, right? So I think Kersey can be able to prepare Felix in order to take on everybody else. But in all honesty, if it plays to paper, I think Shaunae Miller-Uibo gets this. Stephanie Ann McPherson is most likely the person to get second. Now, if Allyson Felix is doing what she has claimed she wants to do and gets a PR, then it's going to blow everybody else out of the water. And then the rest of the field is going to be fighting for bronze. That's just what it's going to be, with the favorite of that going to Stephanie Ann McPherson. What I also think that with here, we also have to talk about the 4x4. So let's transition into that. So my favorite to get a healthy Shaunae Miller-Uibo is getting gold. Otherwise, it's going to be between McPherson and Allyson Felix in order to get that spot. And it's going to highly depend on if Allyson Felix is doing what she claims she's going to do. One thing, people can claim something. Another thing is the actuality. I don't know if I see that within her right now, but a lot of people, they're getting their best and they're saving their best for the championships. Allyson Felix tends to do that. So we're going to see what happens. But when it comes here, Jamaica has put together a solid 4x4 team. You look at these times, you look at the momentum. McLeod, I barely touched on her. I don't think she has a chance to actually, after looking at this again, I don't think she has a chance to actually, if Miller-Uibo is healthy, she doesn't have a chance to get a medal. She got a chance to get 4th or 5th, but I don't see that. Now, with that being said, they put together a solid 4x4. You got to admit this, just like the women on the 4x1. If Jamaica falls off with some bad exchanges, the women's 4x1 team on the US has a chance to actually beat them. That shouldn't be controversial. It's just, hey, if you aren't on your A game, if something goes wrong, if somebody's fatigued, whatever it is, the people that are expected to win don't always win. And I'm going to have a separate video for that, for the 4x1, because that happens all the time. That happens all the time. Now, with that being said, if you see the momentum, let's look at the progression right here with her PRs. Now, she has gone from a 52.28 down to a 49.91, and her 200 also has had a PR. She hasn't even broken 23 seconds yet. And she's had 5 or 6 PRs this season alone. It's like every time she comes out to a race, other than that Stars and Stripes American Track League race here, she has come out with a PR. So let's see what she does. Momentum tends to favor those that are already in an upswing. Just like in a downswing, you got to have a good race in order to break that. This one, she would have to have a bad race. I don't see a bad race happening. Looking at that, I think they have enough rest in between it. So with that being said, thinking of this, she's probably going to improve. That's why I had McLeod originally in the mix for the medals. But if Allyson Felix performs to how she says she's going to do, or even she's about 90% of that, I still put her ahead of McLeod, because 90% of that is still going to be a 49 mid, 49 low. I don't see McLeod doing that right now. But on the 4x4, if they can get a McGregor, Stephanie Ann Williams, if they can get them a sub 50, I think they can challenge the US. Yeah, the US can pull over Athing Mo, which is going to be doing the 800. And that's all she has to focus on. Wonder how much that will take out of her legs. Who knows? Now, they can pull over a whole host of people. They can pull over athletes from the 400 hurdles like they did the last time. So this list isn't just, oh yeah, we're just going to look here. Well, the 400 hurdle athletes, they probably are a 48 on the leg, 48 high, 49 low. So that's going to be the biggest thing. You're going to have athletes that are potentially tired from the rounds. Well, all of the athletes that they will be pulling over, except for Lena Irby, which is on that list, would be going through rounds. And they probably have Irby running the semis and prelims on the 4x4. With that being said, I think Jamaica, if the US is off just a little bit, then Jamaica has a solid 4x4 and has a potential to win. People are saying no, no, and it's happened before. They happened in Beijing. On paper, the USA looked like they could have won there. Let's go back here. 2015. On paper, they looked like they could have. Yes, sure. Richards Ross wasn't there on the team. You still had Natasha Hastings. You still had other athletes that were there. And I guess with those athletes being off the team, I think McCrory was off that. Let me check here for a second. No, she was on the team. With those two athletes, Allyson Felix, McCrory, Richards Ross wasn't there, and we all know the reasons why. Hastings, yes, it did leave a big gap between there because you still got the 4 Jamaicans ahead of them. But that the US and how they run 400s in general and 4x4 relays, that typically is like, okay, we could still have that. We got people to pull from other events. We got people that can do that. And Jamaica was able to put together a team that day that was able to beat them because they didn't even run all of these athletes on there, I don't think. So with that being said, what do you guys think? Do you guys agree with me that Jamaica has a chance at actually winning the 4x4 if USA doesn't bring their A game? I think even the B game for the USA isn't that far ahead of Team Jamaica this year. They put together a solid team, I'm telling you. Especially with the momentum and new PRs and everything. That tends to favor those. So with that being said, even on paper, what we see here, I think they're going to overperform. Let's just say they don't get a PR in the 400 final or whatever happens. I think they're going to overperform what they show here on paper, because the momentum is just in these two athletes' favor, McPherson and McLeod. It's going to depend on McGregor and Stacey Ann Williams in order to see what happens. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We're looking for 10,000 subscribers. Catch you all on the next one.